Hi everyone and happy Monday. I am going to be doing something a little bit different with our planner page this week. Now it is quite a filled page with all sorts going on, lots of different items. Now I have done this page before on my channel using pastel tint pencils, the Castle Arts. I'm actually going to be using Castle Arts today as well, but sorry for the sun. I'll sort that out in a minute. But I thought we would do it a little bit differently. And I showed it to my husband. I said, look at this page. And he said, do it in just one colour. Now, I thought, I don't know if I want to do it in just one colour. But I decided I would actually pick a colour cube card. And I am working through my colour cube cards through the box in order. And this is my next one. Now quickie, colour cube cards are made by Sarah Renee Clark. They are little palettes that you can use for pictures or anything really, any sort of art projects at all. You can find colour palettes online for free if you'd rather. These cards are nice quality, they're quite thick, they're nice to just have in a video to show you. There is an online version which is much cheaper as well, so if you want to get palettes you can do it that way, or you can look them up on Pinterest, things like that. But we happen to have this one today. Now Sarah Renee Clark also has a piece of software which tells you, when you look at the back, you can see there are different colours. Some of the main pencil sets, definitely Prismas and Polys, I think she's got Arteza, I don't think she's got Castle, tells you which pencils these are, just the one there. But I can do it without pretty well matching them up, so I'm going to show you that first. It's, as I say, it's a little bit of a different video, but I don't know what to do about that sunshine. I think I'm just going to leave it for now because it's making it nice and bright. When I'm zoomed out it can tend to look a bit dark. Now it's not doing us many favours. So we can see here we've got all our greens, and I can hold this here and try and match them up. Now the first colour we have is called White Smoke. There's a little bit of grey and a couple of light greys and a dark grey. We'll deal with that first. So I happen to have our greys here. Now castles don't have loads and loads of greys, so I think I'm just going to pick a few. Now these, I'm thinking, do I want warm greys or cold greys? Well, our lightest grey is the warm grey light, and it's a cold grey. A warm grey, sorry, I'm trying to find it, here it is. So I'm going to grab that warm grey light, let's put that to the side, and then there's not much difference between these. I'm going to, in fact between these, so I think I'm just going to take, we could use the Davy's grey and the charcoal grey actually, that's what I'm going to do, and then we've got 3 tones of grey. Now these greys, I'm most likely, in this picture they're being used as shadow, and that's probably what I'll use them for in mine as well. We do have some brown in this picture, but she hasn't picked that out as a colour. So we've got those greys, and now we can move on to our greens. Let's just open up the oops. So we've got, I think greens go across 2 trays. Yeah. So looking first at the lime, can you see here, lime? This leaf green light to me looks, it's not exactly close, but it's close enough for me. So I'm thinking leaf green light, leaf green, although that looks quite like the cadmium green pale, and it's my favourite colour. So I'm swayed, I'm going to change my mind. I'm going to use the cadmium green pale and the cadmium green. Now you don't have to choose 3, you can just use 2. There's the cadmium green. I should be able to find them because they're the shortest, being my favourites, cadmium green pale. Now what you can do is swatch them a little bit to look at the colours. I'm going to do it by eye. I think that cadmium green really comes somewhere between these two, but that's quite dark. So I might grab a sap green, maybe, yeah, let's grab the sap green as well. We might end up with loads, it doesn't matter. Now we have what's called light green, which is actually darker than this one. So maybe I could use my leaf greens here. Yeah, I think I'll use leaf green light and leaf green here for these. Now I'm doing it quite vaguely, as I say, you can swatch them, but I'm just not bothering really. Then we've got our Kelly green, which is getting slightly more bluey. I'm going to use my emerald and castle green, I think. I've got to find it. There's castle green light. Yeah, I might use castle green light, castle green and emerald. Just trying to get there. There's emerald. Is that castle green? Yeah. And then our last one's quite a bit darker. You can see the forest green. So I'm going to look amongst, I like this juniper green, the Prussian green, the hookers green. I think I'm going to grab all those. Juniper, hookers, Prussian. There we go. So the joy of this is now I can just put away my pencil tin and I don't have to think about a million different colour combinations. Just make a bit of noise and worry about what to pick, because I've got quite a small bunch of pencils. I nearly put the colour cube card in there. Let's not do that. So we can put that to the side. We don't have to worry about that anymore. I am going to shut the blind in a minute. And so we have this just here to remind us, and here are the pencils. Now you don't have to just use pencils, you can use pens. There's, you know, you can use white pen, you can use any colour, green pens, whatever you like, but I'm probably just going to stick with pencils, but I'm not sure. Anyway, I'm going to just close the blind and hang on a minute. Right, hopefully that's a bit better. Now we have lots and lots of detail going on here, and what I thought I might do was to do every item in a similarish way, in the sense of thinking about the light and shade. So I thought maybe I will do the more dark at the bottom and lighter as we go up, or maybe the other way around, or left to right, right to left. I think I'm pretty much going up like that, perhaps. Might work. So I think we just need to get started. So I'm going to come in close and just pick something and start colouring, or else we're never going to do anything. Been nattering for too long. Right, let's just come in and get going. Now, as I said to you earlier, I have done this page before, and I'm going to find a dark green for the centre of my flower. I'm going to be doing a lot of sharpening, I suspect. I've done this page before. I'm going to use the hookers green. And when I did it before, it was a series and it was 3 hours long. That's quite long, isn't it? For this one, I'm hoping to keep it a little bit shorter and simpler, just because I think that might be what you like, what you want. So just the centre of that, I've really just filled it in. I haven't done, I know I was saying I was going to shade them. We'll do that with the leaves. They're going to be green, is all we've got. I am going to grab the emerald green. I'm being a bit random, to be honest. And what I'm going to do is make it dark at the bottom here, and then lighter as we go up. Now that's not unusual for a petal for me, really. And I'm just going to do it with all of them. So when we get to this one, the bottom is actually here. Do you see what I mean? So rather than doing it from the tip, I'm actually doing it from the base. Now it doesn't show up that much with this particular green, what I'm doing, but hopefully as we go through it will. Now I'm going to do a few easy cheats as well on some of these items because they're so small. So hopefully we can make it a little bit easier. You can of course do all the little details, got all this going on, but I'm going to try and make it, give you some shortcuts. So here our base is our darkest there, lighter to the tip. It's just about putting more layers of colour down really. If you want, you can use a darker colour, maybe this colour, whatever it was we used. But not too worried, to be honest. And what I think I might do is use my grey for things like the stars. We've got stars, quite a lot of stars throughout. It might be quite nice to make them look a bit silvery by using a grey. Could use a silver pen, of course, if you really want some proper sparkle. But I think I might just stick with the pencils. I haven't completely finished planning what I'm doing yet, but that's my sort of initial thought, really. Okay, there's our first item done. Let's move on. Let's just move across here. Now our bottle, I was thinking we could do a green, nice bottle green bottle. I'm going to start actually with that. I'm going to use the juniper green. Give it a sharpen. I find with castles, when you sharpen them, they really benefit from a really sharp blade in the sharpener. Now that might sound a bit obvious. I'm actually going to try and put a bit of shine on our glass. Oh, it's drawn in. Don't need to. Got to just avoid these stars and fade it up from the bottom to follow our sort of pattern. Because of the wood, I think because they're slightly cheaper budgety pencils, the wood can crack quite easily and splinter, and so if you use a blunt sharpener it seems to be messy somehow. But if you I've got a fairly new blade in mine, so that's helping me. I don't know whether to do those stars now or leave them till later. Now the cork, I'm just going to pick a different colour. Just sharpening. This is the leaf green light, so it'll be quite pale. But I'm going to go here, dark from here, lighter up like that. We've got a little label to do. Again, another colour. I am just being quite random in what I'm picking. I don't know how odd it's going to look. We shall have to wait and see. Cadmium green. Again, darker here. Just like that. There we go. And I think I'm going to use this also for the twine, like it's sort of a string. There we go. Now we have this. This is it a perfume bottle? I think it probably is. There's an awful lot of detail on there. We aren't going to worry about it too much. I'll show you what I'm going to do. Sap green. So I'm going to start at the bottom. I'm looking at this line here, which sort of indicates that you can see through the glass. I think I'm just going to ignore it. Now whilst we are going dark to light, I'm not pressing my hardest here. I'm going to try and colour around the label, but fade it as I go up the bottle. Like that. I want to make sure I've got some colour in all the spaces, so I'm just going back over a few bits. And because it's a bottle, I'd quite like a bit of a darker edge. It doesn't quite fit in with our shadow plan, but I think it'll work. There we go. And this darker bit down here. And then if you like, you can put some shadow under some of the bits. I'll show you with our charcoal grey. So you can just put in a bit of grey under these items, as if maybe they're standing out a little bit from the glass. It's not really showing up, is it? Let's try sharpening the pencil. Tends to help things. All the way along in the middle. I'm going to put a bit of shadow under the label. Now how much of this you do on the page is clearly up to you. You might decide that you'd rather just put some nice colour on there and not worry. I'm going to do this top part with the same sap green that we did the bottle with. There are 3 dots there. I'm actually going to colour over them because they're too small. But we can leave that white bit there, like that. Oops, dropped the pencil. Now the label. I want to do it in a completely different colour. So I'm going to use the castle green. Obviously green is completely different to green. There we go, castle green. Now I think when my husband suggested that I did it all in one colour, he meant one pencil. which clearly I haven't done. I've missed a bit of a petal there, haven't I? It's emerald, isn't it? But this is just slightly different. Here we go. Now I've got a cute bonsai tree. I think I will start the tree in in leaf green. Seems appropriate, doesn't it? And I'm going to again try and make it a little bit darker at the bottom and then a bit less at the top, just by layering up more at the bottom of each little bushy bit. It's a lovely bonsai tree. I love bonsai trees. I ought to grow one really, but I just always felt I'm not very green fingered, you know, and I know they're really hard to grow. I can just imagine me ending up with a huge tree in my sitting room or something. I don't think so. Now, I'm going to do the sort of soily bit and grass in this colour too. I'm just going to use a little bit of a lighter touch. But the actual, it's fiddly, isn't it? The actual trunk I'm going to do in a darker green. If I can find one, here we go, the Prussian green. Can do these green coins, that'd be interesting, wouldn't it? I'm going quite lightly on this top bit. Remember, darker at the base, but sort of want to try and blend it into that other green a little bit if you can. Just do a bit of scumbling down there. I would have liked this page to have just been a little bit of this, you know, just that bit would have been perfect. But hey ho, now we have the tub. I'm going to want to do the tub so that it has a little bit of three-dimension look to it. So I'm going to use my cadmium green pale first and just put a light layer. Now I'm thinking that this bit might be set in, so I'm going to make it darker. Also fits with our sort of dark to light thing that I had said I was going to try and do, but I'm really not convinced that it's showing up enough to worry about. And a bit under there. There we are, so just one pencil. Okay, coins. I'm going to use the Castle Green Light, which is our last pencil that we haven't used that's green. We haven't used all the greys, but I'm not too worried about those. We're going to use some for the stars anyway. So Castle Green Light and coins. Now, how do we colour coins? Well, normally I would use a mixture of colours, but we've only got one, so we can still make them look slightly metallic by leaving a little space. So colour it darker here, fade it, fade it, fade it, and just put a little bit there. Same with here, darker here and here, a little gap in the middle. If you just leave the little bit of white, it just looks like they're shiny. You know, you would expect them to be made of metal. There we go, quite simple. Now I'll glow. What I want to do, I've got water and land. I think if we do the water in a really bluey green, so I think the emerald is the best choice for the water. Sorry, it's a bit blurred, isn't it? So we'll do the water, which I think is this bit. I love how there's a little heart-shaped island there. Sweet. I'd like to live on a heart-shaped country. I'd love to live on a country where everyone was kind all the time. Wouldn't it be lovely? I know most people, I know it's not always easy to be kind, and I think most people are kind really. It's just, we just get bogged down with life, don't we? You know, having to go to work and all the stress, looking after our family, worrying about money, all those things that we all do, you know, and just, you know, needing a holiday, whatever it might be. I think I'm going to do the land in the hooker screen. It's quite dark. it will just show it differently. But again, I'm just going to do plain colouring here. Yeah, so it's a shame, and I wonder which country in the world is the kindest. I know a lot. My son was looking at polls. Apparently Denmark is one of the nicest places to live, but it's a really small country, and it's got a real sort of little community feel, which even though UK is quite small, we don't really get that here. You know, there's a lot of our newspapers and our general media and TV, I think they stir up a lot of hatred, even the sort of members of parliament sometimes, you know, because we've got our elections coming up very soon, in fact. They often, as a way of campaigning, they won't just say, well, we're going to change this and do this and this. They'll talk about their opposition and how bad they think they are, and it sort of encourages us to criticise each other, and also criticise each other for voting a particular way and things like that. This is leaf green, which I think is wrong. I think it's absolutely, you know, the whole point of us having a vote is that we can express our own personal viewpoint. We have different reasons for voting for different things. All of us have different things that are important to us. You know, some people just want to see more money going to hospitals. Some people want to see it going to schools. Some people are more concerned about interest rates or whatever it might be. There are lots of different issues. And just because someone chooses to vote a certain way because they think it's going to have the best impact on them, this is the sap green, I'm going to use it for the base of my boat, or them or the country as a whole, there's no need to be nasty to them about it, you know. If that's their point of view, that's their point of view, you know. But it can be very easy to get very emotional when it comes to this sort of thing. Same as, and I think the reason, interestingly, I'm going to use some leaf green for a few bits. This little bit here. I think, having looked at it from a sort of psychology point of view, sometimes people feel like if you criticise the sort of castle green, their political viewpoint, they feel like it's a personal criticism of them. You know, even if you just say, I don't like that party, that you're voting for that political party or that person, because that's their choice of who they're going to vote for, the circus green, it makes it feel like you're having a personal attack on them, and it's not good. So personally, I believe it's better not to reveal who you're going to vote for, and not to expect other people to reveal. I think castle green light for the little housey bit and the chimney. You know, I think we should be it's a private thing. You can discuss and debate certain views and issues and things like that you are concerned about, but it's not necessary to reveal. I'm going to use the Davy's grey for the windows. Just a bit of a stripe to make it look like some reflection. It doesn't even show up. You know, it's none of my business what you are voting and why. But, you know, if you want to talk about it, you know, I would discuss it and listen and leave green light and maybe talk about, you know, what I believe in a little bit. But I think being critical and judgy is not nice, I guess, is what I'm saying. You know, it can be hard. Talking to my neighbour who was saying a certain ex-politician was getting a lot of negativity. He was saying it's not fair because this and that and the other reason. Cadmium green pale. And I felt like saying, yes, but this and this and this. Have you considered it? I'm just putting a little bit of colour in here. But I didn't. I just listened, and he said, you know, I've lost friends because of my view, and I said this, so I'm scared to talk about it anymore. And I was just like, yeah, I can imagine, because, you know, people get so very passionate about their viewpoints. Okay, I am going to use the Prussian green for the stalks, stems, what they called. So I'm going to go darker here and just go lighter towards the end. That, I know that isn't what I did with my flower, but I've decided that I can't tell that it's going darker to lighter up, so I'm going to maybe give up on that idea. But I think we're never going to see eye to eye with everybody. And there will be some people who have such extreme views that are so completely different to you on every single thing that you obviously wouldn't naturally be friends with them, you know, and that's fair enough. But just don't, you know, why get drawn into a debate? Just leave it. You know, you don't need that negativity. But there are other people where you might have a few differing views. Just let it go, you know. And even if it's something you're really passionate about, you know, the thing I'm most passionate about at the moment that I think we need most help with in this country, none of the political parties are talking about at all. So nobody I vote for, this is Hooker's Green, will do a single thing about it. It's just not on their agenda. So I think there was one political party that had a very small mention of a tiny thing, but I didn't think it would go far enough, but often that is the case. So, you know, I sort of given up and thought, well, I have to think about something else. Castle Green for the centres. But there are other things that are important to me. But my dad was over, this is Leaf Green, at the weekend, and he was having a real rant about something or other political. Oh, it's terrible, they do this and that and the other, you know. And it was interesting because he had, a couple of weeks ago, he told me what he was going to vote, who he was going to vote for. And then now he's completely changed his mind and he's just so against that party now. This is cadmium green. I was going to do these gemstones in this, but I think I won't, because I think they benefit from a slightly bluer colour. I think I use the juniper green actually for all the gemstones. I'll show you how I do gemstones. Simply, I want a little bit of what looks like shine on each surface. So here, I'm going to start there and fade and do a bit there and fade. Oops. And then on each of these edges, I'm just going to put a light bit in the middle. It's quite small, that one. So this one, I tend to start darker here and lighter there. And the same here. But this one is sort of facing us. I'm going to pretend the light's catching that a bit. So do a diagonal bit there, fade off, and there, and leave a line. Do the same on the top. But I think it's a shame that, you know, we can get ourselves so worked up about it when, yeah, as long as it's in a positive way, in the sense that, you know, you feel that things can change or something can improve, you know, but it's good. This shouldn't be sad if it's a source of stress. Right, I've got this bottle next, whoops. I think I'm going to do the little detailing of the flowers first. So I'm going to grab this cadmium green and do the leaves. I might do the flower centres the same colour as the leaves actually. Makes it a little bit quicker. Rather than trying to swap pencil and that bit. Now we have the sap green, which I'm going to use. It should be a bit more in the middle, there we go. For the flowers, it doesn't look that different, does it? But that's okay. I wanted to look a similar colour. Maybe not quite this similar. It does, well, I can see a little bit of difference. Anyway. That was a leaf, I just coloured it in the wrong colour because I was lazy. I'm going to put this sort of labelly bit in this colour Oh, I feel like my stomach's about to grumble. There we go. And I think I'd do the border of the label. Oh, there it goes, grumble rumble. It was quite quiet, thankfully. Right, now we've got a castle green light, which I think I'm going to use for the actual bottle. So I'm just going to put a lightish layer all round. There we go. Yeah, I am interested in seeing what happens, you know, politically, and whether there's any major changes and things like that. Leaving a little light gap here. I'm going to do the same on this and here, and this one's got a white gap drawn on it, so I'll use that. Yeah, but we'll see, really. I do almost feel like our current government are a bit tired. They've tried a lot of things, they've been criticised a lot. I almost feel like there's a sort of a lack of enthusiasm, oh, for goodness sake, you just have a go type approach almost. But I don't know, maybe I'm misinterpreting it, but let's do the crown. But it must be quite tiring. I mean, I wouldn't want to do their job. We've got an emerald green. I'm going to use this for the gemstones. And it must be really exhausting if you think about it, travelling to London for four days a week, Monday to Thursday, back home for weekends. You really only get, some of them, it depends how hard working they are, I only get a Sunday off. You know, they've got a family to try and look after as well, maybe, particularly the women. It sounds sexist, but unfortunately, oops, I'm doing this bit as well. I didn't mean to do that bit. You know, all that going on. I couldn't cope with it at all. This is Prussian green. I don't know how women cope with working outside of the home full time and looking after their kids and husbands. Maybe some men are more capable than mine. I don't know. But, I mean, he does help in the house. He helps with the cleaning and stuff, but just not everything. So today, for example, my husband's at work today. I had to help my son sort out his disabled person's rail card and his bus pass, because we'd just been applying for those, and then I had to go and buy vegetables for my husband, and I've got to cook some from tonight so he has something to eat. He likes some root veggies so he can reheat them every day, in a heater bit every day. Take this little coin purse. I love that, so cute. Use the cadmium green pale. Now, how am I getting my colours so random? Well, you obviously don't have to use random colours if you don't want to. You can sort of use similar tones. I've just mixed it up a bit. I basically, when I've used a colour, I put it at the back of my pile, and I'm just trying to sort of use them evenly throughout. Now, light to dark, remember, some more layers down here. But yes, so I was helping that, had to go out and do all that, and then I've got to come, this is Hooker's green, and only then can I sit down and enjoy doing this with you, you know. And so it's tricky, but I guess maybe sometimes I think life would be far easier if it was just me. But I wouldn't change it. This is Castle Green. I think I'm going to use two colours for our fish, one for the body, one for the fins. And this is going to be my last item. Now I'm going to do him dark to light, going up his body, because that's how we've been doing it. I'm going to ignore all the marks on him and just do this. Yeah, I mean, it's lovely having a family. I'm so grateful, but it's just so much work. My friend went on holiday once. She's got 4 children, and she's been a single mum for most of the time. Not all of the time, most of the time. And this is leaf green. I'm going to use, no, not, hang on. I'm going to find, see here I'm fiddling. I'm going to find the emerald green. I think it's going to match better. And when 3 of her children left home and her other one was stayed with her dad, and she went on holiday on her own for a week so she could have some time to think and relax and be by herself. I was like, oh, wow, you know. But I don't think I'd want a week, or I don't know if I'd necessarily want like a holiday away. Just having a little bit of time to myself sometimes, it's so valuable, and I do get it. I think at the moment, because the boys are not at uni, I don't get it so much, you know, and I'm getting used to husband semi-retiring, which means he has a 4-day weekend, which means he's around a lot. And so I don't get time on my own. And I don't know whether it's normal to want time on your own or not. I think some people say it isn't. But now, I'm going to do our stars before I finish. And what I've decided to do is to block them in with the charcoal grey. Okay, I'm not going to try and make them look shiny or anything because they're too small. So I'm going to come right out because there's a lot of them. There we go. Still not enough, hang on. There we go. And I'm just going to go through and just colour them all in. I'm not going to push down too hard. I don't want them really dark. I'm just going to make them all grey. But yeah, some people I know hate their own company, but I'm just used to having some time. Like when the boys were when they were at school, I had loads of time to myself, you know, all day. And in secondary school, longer, you know. They left at 8, while his husband didn't leave till 9. But then I had from then until they got back just about 4 of just time to myself. And I think that's what I sort of missed, really. But when I come and sit in here and make a video, I'm on my own, so it's valuable time. I'm looking for stars at the same time. But I did go for a walk on my own the other day. That's nice. But I do try and get the boys out for a walk. Sounds like I'm I walk my boys like they're dogs. Just because they need to keep their fitness levels up, and they wouldn't go out if it wasn't for me going, come and help me carry the shopping, or whatever. This morning they carried the shopping home. It was quite heavy. All the vegetables, root veggies, so heavy potatoes and stuff. But so they helped me out. But they know they'll benefit because they like them, and so although we're cooking them for their dad, we always take a share for ourselves. Right, I am going to leave that there. I've done a fair bit. I'm not sure how many videos this will be actually, but yeah, I don't want to rush it too much. I feel like I'm speeding along anyway, because I don't really want to spend 3 hours on it, and hence the choosing the pencils. A limited palette helps. But for today I am done, so thank you very much for watching. I do hope you tune in again tomorrow for the next instalment, even if it's just to listen to the chat. If you hate the colour, I'm sorry. It is a bit out there, isn't it? It really is. But you know, sticking to our palette. Look there. Oops. There you go. So we're sort of sticking to that fairly well. Yeah, but yeah, it's a bit different. I just wanted to do something different with this page, having done it before. But yeah, maybe it's a Marmite page, we'll see. Anyway, I'm gonna go. Sorry, waffling on. Have a super day. Thank you so much for watching, and happy colouring.